Welcome everybody to Model Reviews by Hans. Now I promised you guys something a little bit special and I'm going to deliver it here. At least to me, this is cool. This is special stuff. So this is the first kit released by Sublight Drive. Now if you are a sci-fi modeler on YouTube, I highly recommend you search him out if you're not familiar with him already. Also on Blue Sky, he's on Instagram. And Sublight Drive is a guy that does spaceships, scratch-built spaceships. And he does some really cool little basic instructional videos on how to design, lay out, and scratch build spaceships. And for stylistic wise, if you think of them kind of like, say, Homeworld or like 1970s, like Ralph McCrory type of, blocky, low poly type of things is what his style is really focused on. A lot of that comes from the fact that he builds primarily out of sheet styrene, which is a very cool way to do it. It's old school, traditional, building it up from nothing side of stuff. And for a few months, couple years, I don't know. I didn't do the research on that part. But anyway, for quite some time, on Etsy, you can buy the plans for a lot of the ships he does. Now, the Atlas is one of them. Recently, he has purchased a cutting machine where he can do a CAD layout of where the parts are and cut them into the styrene, and now he's offering those for sale. Now this is a cool little thing. Now this doesn't look like much. It looks, look, it's just a couple sheets of plastic. No. What is going to be tremendously difficult for me to show you is the fact that not only do you have all the numbers printed here, but this is actually pre-etched and pre-scored for all the parts that are in the main hull of the ship. So you break these out, you assemble it, and you have another thinner sheet here for like surface texture, surface detail, and then part of the build style, of course, is like your old 1970s, 1980s ILM type of build. You add the greeblies, the random model parts or whatever they have on top of it to give it more detail and flush it out. So that's what this kit is intended to be. This is a genuine cottage kit. This is somebody that enjoys building to this style, enjoys sharing that with everybody, and is offering ways to make it accessible to you. Now this is really cool because I have so much crap going on. I don't have the time to get a set of plans and do a build. And I've been looking at them for a while. Now that he has a kit available, yeah, I picked up the kit. So let's flip this around and I'll do my best to show you what this looks like, how this builds, and just the coolness of having somebody share like this with everybody and bring you this really neat type of stuff.
So as a model builder, if you needed to show what small light grooves in a piece of plastic would look like, what would you do? I opted to use some Tamiya panel line color to get all those details out that I was referring to before. But we'll come back to that in a minute. Traditionally, like I said, we always start with packaging. Well, packaging in this case, plain manila envelope. But that's one of the things about a cottage kit. You don't get that fancy extra crap. You just focus on the kits. Instructions, though, are really well done for something of this nature. So, of course, you have, this is actually looking pretty professional here. So you have, of course, the cover sheet explaining what the Atlas is, some of the history of the spacecraft, different utilizers of it. This is really, like I said, looks pretty professionally well done. And inside you get your typical, traditional black and white line drawings. All your parts called out, how everything assembles. It's pretty simple. But like I said, the nature of the kit is that it is simple. So it calls out all the various components as they go together. Everything comes across nicely. And then it doesn't quite explain it completely, but over here, this would be where you start to utilize that secondary sheet of surface texture detail. It calls out spots where you're likely to be sanding. But as long as you follow the sequence on this, should build up nicely. And from watching his videos, I definitely would recommend following the build sequence in here as far as don't skip around from step to step or follow a different order because they are shaped to fit specifically in that manner. And like I said, at the end, put on your greeblies, QR code for instructional video, which I'm assuming is going to go to the YouTube channel and some of the previous builds, but I haven't looked at it myself. And at the end here, or you can actually do this first if you wanted to, you have like a display stand as well. As far as what the actual kit includes, oh, sorry, almost forgot. I did get a sticker because stickers are cool. And the business card, which has all of Zeb's information on there, contact information, which is very cool. As I mentioned before, I found this kit for sale on Etsy. Now, like I said, I used the panel liner, which worked great on the small detail sheet because the numbering's on the back. and ended in near disaster for the main structural sheet, because when I went to go use some alcohol to take off the smears and stuff like that, I started taking off the lettering. So a lot of lettering in this area I had to hand paint back on. So you can see some of the areas that I did do. This is where all your etching is, defines all the parts. The majority of these, and I'm going to take a bit of a risk here, I'll use the base. You're actually going to be able to just crack off. You might want to cut a little bit on the edge, but most of these parts, like I said, is just going to be a case of, because it's a score and snap sort of thing. Takes a little bit to get used to it, but should be pretty quick and easy to figure out when you're done. Detail sheet, like I said, this worked out much better with the panel liner because all the numbers are painted on the back, so I didn't ruin anything. And you can really see in here the extent of the etching that kind of goes into place for the detail sheets. Now all of this, I mean, this is all, and you use however much of it you want, but these pieces are all going to be giving you a lot of really cool surface detail there. And it's up to you on these as well too. Like if you want to leave them fully compressed, you can start splitting all these sections out, space it out more. That's the nature of this kit, is there's definitely a lot of custom work that you can do on it, but like I said, this is the surface detail sheets. So not a tremendous amount in this kit. As it is, like I said, it is a cottage kit designed for you to do a lot of your own customization on it. And I plan on building this in the very near future and showing you guys some of the more detail, but we'll go back for a quick recap here on what this kit is and what I think of it.
So as a first look type of review, I'm going to forego my normal rankings here and give you more of a perspective on the kit itself and what I expect from this kit as well, because it's one of those, if I haven't built it, I can't give it a fair evaluation. But these things, I really enjoy seeing people do stuff like this, because like I said, this is someone that scratch builds and has no obligation to anybody to provide these kinds of kits available for purchase. But this stuff is cool. It's somebody who does something different, somebody who does something fun, and back to basic scratch building. And I really think as model builders, we need to start looking at more of this level of kit here, because the instructions aren't going to tell you where to put every decal. They're not going to tell you every color. This is more, it's a blank slate, and there's a lot of ways to branch out and reach out and find new ways to build. It doesn't hurt either that when you look at Sublight's stuff, his stuff it's really cool stuff. He's doing fun things, presents it well, and I like to purchase and spread the news about stuff like this and reward the people that are providing that kind of content out there, because they're doing different things. They're not just feeding an algorithm. They're not just congealing the same reviews over and over and over again that you've heard from everybody, except one guy screams more, one guy has purple lights in the background, and the third guy is blurry and you can't hear it, like my old pinball videos were. That's a different topic. But no, like I said, so this is somebody, I think, even if you're not interested in building these kits, but I think you should, check out his channel, because it gives you a different viewpoint, different techniques, and a lot of really cool ways that you can enhance your own model building and start bringing it into your diorama work, scratch building stuff into existing kits, learning new techniques, and some of his partnerships with other channels as well has opened my eyes to other ways of building as well. So I'm going to give this, as a first look, I'm going to give this a highly recommended for people that want to branch out and are not afraid to learn something new. And to be honest, you might screw this up. This is not a cut and dry Tamiya kit where you pour the glue in, you shake the box, and it comes out. No, there's potential for disaster here. But that's the fun, because it's your disaster, and you can make something else different out of it as it is. So expect me to come back in another video at some point in the future after I build this up, show you the results of it, and give you a more in-depth explanation of how I think this kit came out. But for the first review, like I said, fun stuff. Check out Sublight Drive's channel. Like and subscribe on mine, please. And learn something new, learn something fun, and branch out with your modeling. So anyway, model reviews by Hans, and I will catch you guys next time.